Well, a very warm welcome to each of you. It's great to see you here in the Lord's house today. I'm so glad that you've come. You know, last week we did the devotions over at Burr Oaks, and I talked to the residents there about the first month of school because school started up. So I think, I've been following school buses and thinking about all the kids going back to school. And I told them the story about the little boy that went to school and the teacher asked a question and nobody in the class raised their hand. And the teacher said, I've been teaching school for 30 years and this is the first class where nobody knew the answer to this question. And then the little boy raised his hand and he said, Teacher, if you've been teaching for 30 years, don't you think you should know the answer by now? Well, and for some of you, you've been coming to church for 30 years. You think, well, don't you know this yet? Well, why do you keep coming? Because it's not just a question of what we learn and what we know, but our faith is reinforced as we receive Word and Sacrament. I think we're kind of like little charcoal embers. Remember the days before propane grills? You had to make a fire out of charcoal? And if you leave the charcoal all by itself, it might be burning hot, but it gets cooler and cooler and cooler. But you put it with others and you keep adding fuel and the flame just keeps going. So in our gospel text today, we're going to be introduced to a man who had faith, and yet coexisting with that faith was also unbelief. I think in most of our hearts, sometimes we have faith and we have doubts at the same time. It's being here and hearing Word and Sacrament that God is able to strengthen and build our faith. So that's why I'm glad you've come.